Yeah.
Okay.
A wedding.
Okay, you guys, I want to share success before we officially get going. It's like the meeting before the meeting. It's almost my favorite part. Where I sit in my office, I can hear a lot, just so you guys know. And last night I was getting ready to go, and there was an appointment that was starting in the conference room right next to me. And you know, last week we talked a lot about scripts, right, and training. And Nate, I don't see him here, but he was the one who was holding the appointment. I heard him asking some introductory questions, and somebody's, you know, like, where are you looking to move, dot, dot, dot. And I just heard out of the corner of my ear, oh, and why is that important? And I thought, ooh, here's a guy who's done a scripts. He knows you don't just roll into the next scrape, you know, the next like checkbox question. You dive deeper, you understand motivation. And I just was just really impressed. And I'm pulling him out because I heard him yesterday, but I'm also pulling it out because I hear it all the time from you guys that are doing your appointments across the way. I'm just really impressed with how you are engaging with your clients. We're going to talk a little bit about how important that is now, just given where we are in the market and being professional and all that good stuff. So that's wrapping up my meeting before the meeting.
Can I share one other with?
Sure, yes, please do.
Okay. You have the whole text in there or not?
Well, I don't.
Okay, so I'm going to share with you a really cool story, if you don't mind. I'm going to take a tangent here for 2 seconds. Okay.
Code off, get the code off. We're in the store.
No, here's a really, really interesting conversation. Okay. 2 weeks ago, I was at a happy hour with a bunch of KW agents from all locations, including some folks from here. And I was talking to an agent who said, hey, you know what? I got to tell you something. I hated Bold the first 2 days. Okay. Hated Bold. And I went back to day 3 and something clicked. And I just want you to know from day 3 to today, Bold has changed and transformed not only my life personally, but my business life as well, because our team meet. And she then pulled out her phone, showed me this text thread from their Bold team that is continuously texting each other. And she talked about how that sense of community, culture, and accountability had really helped her navigate a really difficult market. She's having her best year ever. And she talked about how this group really kind of wrapped their arms around each other. So that was on a Thursday. Then on Tuesday or Wednesday the next week, independently of that conversation, somebody else came to me and said, hey, I just want to show you this text thread. It's from our Bold team. And they showed me, and it was the same group. So I don't know if some of you are you on Tim Reardon?
Yeah.
Karen? Okay.
It was a good group. Yeah, you guys had a great group.
Here was the beautiful thing of this text. You probably know where I'm going with this. Were they? Jason Roman, who was an agent out in Lake Country, texted the group, hey, I just wanted you guys to know I'm retiring from GE Healthcare because I built my real estate business big enough to now go full time in this, where I've made enough money where I can step away from GE Healthcare. And this has been an agent who's someone who's really had a nice amount of success, but must be making really good money at GE Healthcare. And at the end of his text was, thank you to the Bold team for holding me accountable and helping put wind in my, basically putting wind in my sails during a tough environment. And I wanted to share that with the group to say, remember, whether you're on a Bold team or not on a Bold team, you have a community and a culture that is there and caring for you, and that people are willing to help you through these difficult moments. And that was a great example of a cultural moment of, you know, this group of people that has continued this relationship going on. I thought it was really powerful. Did I miss anything in that since you're on the thread?
No, but I'm going to tell them right now.
Yeah.
Again, because someone actually, I think, said that you shared that as someone else.
I shared it this morning.
Oh, this morning?
Yeah.
Oh,
At the 9 o'clock.
oh, maybe that's it.
Yeah, but I thought it was a cool, like, for those of you that were either in Bold or you're looking for that piece of culture and community or a sense of being, like, don't forget that's there to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Build your community, you guys. Okay, and now.
Get one second. I just wanted to add, you know, you've got a couple different people from GE Healthcare here at KW. So, yep.
Oh,
Love it.
Love it.
thank you.
Who?
That was the
That
owl.
was the
It was the owl.
Yeah, this is Justin Larman. I'm at GE Healthcare as well.
Oh, Justin, yay. Well, one day
Justin,
we're
you'll
gonna,
be the next example.
that's right, we're gonna be sharing your story soon too. Gosh, that's the first time.
I thought Kelly was playing a YouTube video.
No, I don't know why, but our
Kelly,
live stream, yeah, do it.
I'll start this.
Diana's first time.
All right.
We have standards. Apparently we go against community standards on Facebook.
For
That's
nudity and sexual activity.
what?
Sorry, guys.
That's- appeal. Let's just, I'm trying to get out of it. Okay,
There we go. We're just gonna
so
keep going.
all you people on Facebook, get on the Zoom. We're,
That's terrible.
get on Zoom. Oh, Steph Sosa said it was Charlie taking off his jacket. All right, so on that note, welcome to your MSW team meeting. Yay. And let's welcome Alex Smith. He just started as a new licensee. We don't have a picture yet, but he's going to get us one. So he is excited to join for the environment, opportunities, and growth that he's looking for here. So welcome him when he shows up. Also a licensed plumber, just in case.
His phone just lit up.
And we have a capper. So that's exciting. And oh, look who's anniversary. I don't know, is she on up there?
I don't know, but that's like 100 lifetimes. Transmittal.
Yeah.
She's doing transmittal right now.
Oh, yes,
so
true, true.
congratulations to Michelle.
So just say hi when she's not in transmittal, so tomorrow.
Yeah.
And now we can start with, do you want to introduce?
Yeah, we
her?
wanted to do a quick introduction. Are you guys here? Come on up.
Yeah.
Come on up. Quick. We love. All that. That's what we do here. There we go.
Hi, John Warnham, who a lot of you guys know, will be working with us as well. Kind of help fill some gaps and things like that. So if you guys have questions, instead of getting me, John's are going to be here in the office as well. Especially if you guys have questions on the new higher interest rates or higher closing costs for people with good credit. That's been kind of a hot button lately. And people have questions on it, stop and ask. Cool.
And if you're curious, John, to where to find John, he walks around after 5 o'clock on his, like, just circling the office, talking to his clients. So easy to find, easy to find.
Cool.
So they are in-house along with some of our other fabulous lenders. Welcome. We just want to give you all the resources that you need to create a good business for yourself. And then as a reminder, next week, there's a lot going on and there's a leadership opportunity. KW pours into us as much as we try to pour into you. So a lot of our folks will be gone, learning new things to bring back to you. And it is Red Day. So we're gonna, no team meeting next week. Use the time, gift of time for you to pour into you and your business. And we're going to start with a little bit of a mission moment.
Beautiful. All right, Red Day. I gotta give the group props. Last week I came up here and said, anybody remember how many people from Southwest West were 14 and Shipley's were a third of the registrations. Okay, as of yesterday, there was 54 people, so message sent, message received, big shout out and props to you guys. Here's the beautiful thing, because we don't have a team meeting next week, this will really be the last effective time we talk about the Choose Your Own Adventure for Red Day. Okay, Axe Housing, filled. United Way Diaper Bank, the goal is to pack 50,000 diapers. If you haven't registered for Red Day, we have one in Waukesha, pretty close to this office. We're looking for about 20 more volunteers. And then for the rest of the group, which is the lion's share of the majority of this group that have registered from Southwest, we're gonna be out at Zacharias Acres. We have 130 people from the KW world that have registered for Zacharias Acres. And they called us yesterday and said, hey, just so you know, we love the amount of volunteers, but we can only max out at about 150. So There's a few spots left everywhere else. With that, I just want to say thank you guys for your level of engagement. Hopefully that you guys enjoy an incredible day serving our communities and love that we have about 50 people in the Southwest. Cool. Any questions as it relates to Red Day and choosing your own adventure?
Okay, now I'm gonna jump in. One of the things that we heard about Red Day on a training call yesterday with Mo Anderson was that it's how we show up in the community mirrors how we show up. Right, so we always have a culture of support and caring that we try to foster, and since I've been here, I see that. So I just wanted to thank you again for the way that you guys interact with each other and support each other. And I know that next Thursday, we're gonna have a huge impact because I see the impact you all have on each other's lives.
Beautiful. Be an awesome Red Day. Real quick, just from my own perspective and the team's perspective. How many people are doing Red Day for the first time? Love it. Now, second question, how many people are doing Red Day this year that have done it in the past? Right? Our job, for those that have done it in the past, bring the juice so that the first timers understand why it's such a cool. You know, and Terry from Zacharias Acres is an incredible person for those that are attending there. I think you'll really enjoy his message to start today. Cool. With that, I'm also flipping it over to another opportunity from a KW community standpoint, where we're offering different volunteer opportunities once a month. And this month, we have an additional item on top of Red Day for Saturday, May 20th. So Sharice, what do these guys need to know?
Hi. So first off, I just wanted to say that I am a firm believer that when we shift our focus from success to service, it gives us more meaning in the work that we do every day. And so I just want to thank all of you because in Q1, we did the Milwaukee Rescue Mission where we had groups of agents show up at the Milwaukee Rescue Mission and they served food for a couple of hours in various shifts, and it was a huge success. So you guys should give yourselves a round of applause for that because you just really showed up and you showed up in a big way to serve the community. So we have another opportunity. Another round of applause. So we have another opportunity coming up, and it is for the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, which is going to be Saturday, May 20th, 7 p.m. at Mitchell International Airport. And if anybody here is unfamiliar with this cause, so essentially they take veterans that have served in various aspects of the military, and they fly them up to Washington, D.C., and it's an all expense paid trip where they can visit the memorial and maybe reunite and rekindle with other veterans. And it's just to pay homage and to thank them for their service. And so on Saturday, May 20th at 7 p.m., the honor flight is coming in with veterans from our area that were flown up to Milwaukee to see the memorial. And so it's basically just a homecoming. We want to give them a homecoming. And so we're just looking for people to show up. You can create signs if you'd like, just to hold up and say thank you for your service, or you can just show up, stand up, cheer, give them some applause, give them some support, give them some love for all of the time and the service that they've dedicated to our country. So there is a Google form.
We coming on today.
Perfect. So they'll send the Google form out after the team meeting if you'd like to sign up. And then once you've signed up, there will be some details just about like where to go, where to park, things of that nature, just some, just minor things that you'll need to know if you do plan on attending. But we hope to see you guys there. It'll be another great event, and it'll be in honor of our vets. So thanks. Thanks for your time, guys.
Anybody have the opportunity to either go on an honor flight or seen when they come home? What would you describe the experience to be?
I flew to DC to meet some friends.
And the power and the impact that when these people come home at General Mitchell, if you haven't seen it, there's the thousands of people that line the hallways. There are high school bands. It's like the equivalent of a small ticker tape parade in the airport. It's an unbelievable experience. And I gotta give a shout out to Sharice, Janine Warner, Sarah Oberbrunner, Coco Wallach, and Kelly Nicolanzi, who really, this is all organic.
Jo
Sarah
as
Jo
well,
Dietrich, who organically led this thing of just trying to find different unique opportunities, a way in which that we can come together as a community to serve our product. Cool. Yes. Amy.
I find it confusing. Okay, I mean, when the last one happened, the recognition, I was. What is this? Right, yeah, so explain that. So this is for all of PW that we're doing this?
Yep.
Okay.
So here's what happened. A handful of agents got together and said, hey, Red Day's really great, but we would like, organically led, we would like to do something once a month that we would offer our community. If people choose to participate, great. If people choose not to participate, not a big deal. And so this is a group that meets once a month, once every other month, and they find opportunities that we can present to the group in ways in which that you can give back. And the purpose behind it is so that you have an opportunity to work side by side with someone you may not know in order to develop stronger KW connections. Make sense? Great question. Thank you. Sweet. All right, with that, Don Shipley.
All right, compliance,
Compliance, compliance, compliance, compliance.
This is fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sheriff Shipley is in the house.
Oh, yes. Sure, thank you. So we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about a lot of things today. So we haven't had compliance at our meeting for a couple of weeks, so we're kind of catching up a little bit. So one thing that I've been asked to share with everybody is some of the most common errors that we've been seeing in opportunities. And so you guys are really busy writing offers. Buyers are out there writing multiple offers. And sometimes there's 48 other offers at a time. So I know you guys are working fast, but just remember that you need to say who you're an agent of on line one. And so Sarah's seeing a lot of opportunities come through that do not indicate who you are working as an agent of. So that's going to come back to you instantly to have you redo that, have you update that with an amendment. So just make sure that when you're writing offers, you have that line, whichever it is, stricken. And then we're also seeing a lot of agent created contingencies still. So people who are maybe don't know yet that we have the addendum AC for things like accelerator clauses, for if you're doing not going to ask for the first X number of dollars of repairs for home inspection, or if you're having an appraisal, get anything like that. Don't make up your own contingency. We have a really great new form that you can just use and fill in the blanks, and you don't have to worry about how someone's going to interpret it. So we're seeing a lot of those. And then Sarah's starting to see, as we're getting busy, you guys are out there and maybe forgot to submit your opportunities. Just remember, for a new listing contract, it needs to be submitted to command within 48 hours, and for a for an accepted offer within 10 days. I don't think you guys have any questions.
Could I interject real
Yeah.
quick? So the first one, templates are great.
Yeah.
Have that set up. Second one, it's really hard to find. It's called the Greater Milwaukee
Yes.
Association of Realtors Addendum AC. So you have to like actually type it all up. The third one, yes.
And we have gotten a lot of questions from who said they can't find the addendum AC. Yeah.
I will say, so that first one, I'm not sure if anyone was aware, there was an issue with zip forms. I have all of my templates in there. It's crossed out and always has agent or buyer. And I had a couple return that to me, and I went back and I was like, is it not in my template? It was in my template.
Yes.
Zip forms has fixed that now.
Good,
So
okay.
if you actually have it in your template, it will show out
Good.
any areas that you had struck. But it was like 3 months that was going on, and I was wondering why. So I would literally send it out for signatures and it was crossed out, and it would come back after my clients would sign it, and nothing was
Not
crossed
correct.
out.
Okay, that's good to know. And I'm glad, so it is fixed now.
They
Okay,
did
good.
fix it as of, I think I got an email from, because I sent it out to their customer support. I got
Yep.
an email when I was gone last week.
Okay,
That
awesome.
it has been fixed, and I checked it.
Good. And if anybody else is having that issue, because I know James Kutterberg was having issues with that as well, where he had templates and it was moving lines.
Yep.
So if you're ever seeing issues like that, let us know so that we can make sure we reach out to their tech support. Yeah.
I just had one on the gap endorsement.
Yep.
Line. I tried to cross out sellers, and when it goes to the form, it moved it over. So one of the other agents said, well, that doesn't, you didn't cross out the seller. I'm like, well, I didn't do it.
Yep.
It's happened. So I just put it on a, another form anyways. We had a couple of things we had to fix.
Just have it in there. So an amendment will always fix it. If you run into those, I have a direct contact at Zip Forms for tech support. So if you could take a screenshot, if anybody has them move, the lines moving, take a screenshot and email it to me, which is @KW. Yeah, so send it over and that way I just make them aware of it because that shouldn't be happening. We want to make sure that your offers are as they are, as you're intending them. That's very important.
More in the new offensive sign.
Okay.
That's where it
Seems to be doing that. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so if anybody notices that, take a screenshot, send it to me so we can get that taken care of. And check your offers, I guess, is the big thing before they're sent out. Just double check before you submit them. Because who knows? I know. That's really, or we.
That's why we call her sheriff.
Which one do I need to do?
Yeah. If you have an older, I've noticed for me, if I have an older client that's in there and I already put them together as a buyer's agent, and there's the old Greater Milwaukee is in there, I have to delete that, sometimes to bring back the AC.
Okay,
I don't know if that's just a
we can chat.
glitch.
Yeah, we can check. Sometimes it does make you delete because if you had an older template already
Bless you.
attached, bless you, it will have you have to get that other one out of there to put the new one in, so it doesn't automatically update. And then just a reminder that every week on Mondays, we do contract training. This is on Zoom. So if you ever have any questions about anything, the topics rotate weekly. So it's a session from 12 to 1. There's a spot for Q&A and then a spot for training. Instructors rotate as well. So if you were coming to James Krickerberg's Monday afternoon, Tuesday, whatever day he was doing it, Monday morning training, we've combined with the other offices. So you hear from a lot of different voices, which is great. And then we also have a new form for you guys. So you get all the compliance updates today. So when you have condo documents that you are receiving for your buyer, it's always been the case, and it still is the case, that you can send over a notice. There's a clause in the clause manager in Zip Forms that says per the lines 107 to 175 of the offer to purchase, condo documents have been received. So you can always still send that over as a notice, or if you would prefer, we have a form where you can, it's a fillable form where you can fill in the condo address, the date that the condo documents were received, and have the buyer sign, and you can submit that to the other side. That form will be found in the One Spot for Resources as a fillable document. It's not going to be in Zip Forms, but it will be in one spot. Any questions about that?
This one is in Zip Forms.
It's not in Zip Forms.
This one
It
is.
will be
Okay.
in the One Spot for Resources. Right. And then it's also April, 2 days ago, was the end of Fair Housing Month. And so we're also seeing with the new busier spring market, a lot of love letters coming up and some agents that are acting a little bit more inconsistently because they're busy. So just be aware that love letters can pose a risk for fair housing because unintentionally, you could be revealing to the sellers some things that could be protected classes for fair housing. So the buyer may say, I like to go to church around the corner, or my family, my wife and my children, or my partner. So they could be knowingly or unconsciously having a bias or presenting themselves in a situation where they could have a bias against them from the seller. So just being really cautious about what sellers or buyers are saying in those letters. For you as an agent, just make your buyers aware that if they are writing a letter, just know that this could, it could potentially violate the non-discrimination provision in the buyer agency agreement. We are, if the buyer does decide to write that letter, you're obligated to draft it as instructed. So if they want it submitted, you should submit it. But you should not advise them on what should be in that letter, and you should not offer guidance because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where they said, but you said that it was okay for me to say that. Yes.
Just out of cute, so the only question I have is in regards to, we should not advise on what should be or should not be in it.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be advantageous for them, for us to send the information that you just had to reply, just stating like, hey, if this is something you want, you can. At the same time, just please be advised
Yes.
of the potential consequences.
Yes.
You can put whatever you want in, but
Yes.
just like,
Yes.
you know what I
think
mean?
that's good.
Just
So
so
you're
they
not
know.
directly saying, hey, don't say this or do say this, but just be cautious
Correct,
of these.
because
Things.
they probably have no idea.
Yep.
They're thinking they're just writing a really nice letter about them and their kids, and they're putting a picture with them and their family,
Yep.
and they may have no idea that you may be activating unconscious bias
Yes.
of the seller. So, but what you want in, but be aware.
Just be aware.
Right?
Yep. I think that's a fair, you're not giving them any specific details about saying, hey, make sure you say you've got a family because the seller had a family.
Right,
Don't
right.
tell them specific things to write or not to write, but just making them aware that they could be potentially opening things up for fair housing.
Okay.
It's a good question. And so on the other side, as a seller's agent, just make sure that, the seller is focusing on the terms of the offer and the price more than on what's in a letter. You can ask that, dear seller letters, love letters are not included. You can put that in the private remarks. So I'm seeing a lot of that right now. Agents putting in the private remarks, love letters not to be presented to the offer or to the seller. If the letter is attached to an offer though, you can counter to remove the letter and that will not be part of the letter or part of the offer then. So they can accept an attached offered letter and acknowledge receipt of it, but state that the letter had no bearing on the decision made by the seller. So there's a couple of different options. If the seller does not want to open themselves up to potential fair housing violations, that they could say, I'm not even going to look at it, or you could have it removed. Personally, as an agent, I usually don't even show it until they're down to like, here's the letter from the person who was offered to accept it. So now they know after the fact. So I don't like to present them unless I tell them there was a letter. Do you want to see it? And a lot of times they'll tell me no, and not till I make my decision. Yes.
And it's true that, as a listing agent, you do not have to present the letter unless it says letter is attached.
Yes. So in the addendum A, you've got that spot where you have the additional addendum that are attached, and you can check the box. And if you are writing a love letter for someone, it's smart to check that box and say letter from buyer, because then it is officially part of the offer. Otherwise, it's not considered part of the offer, even if you send it with the offer. And then just make sure that you're being consistent. So with buyer and seller clients, make sure that you're following the same processes, buyer consultations for everybody, requiring the same proof of funds or pre-approval letters. Just whatever your standard is, just make sure that you're being consistent with all of your clients. Ask the same questions. And then it's helpful to keep a checklist of questions so that you're making sure that you always ask. This is the time that when people are working quickly, maybe somebody calls and says they want to see a house and you show it to them, but you wouldn't show it to somebody else. You just don't want to open yourself up to a potential, someone saying that you were violating fair housing. Even if you did it unintentionally, it could appear that way from the outside. Any questions about that?
No, but I'll give you a real life example.
Yeah.
This happened 2 years ago. Agent went to show a home to buyer A. Buyer B asked to see the same home. The agent asked buyer B to sit down in the office for a buyer consultation. And they got caught in a fair housing situation audit because they were inconsistent in their approach. And you have to be careful that you want to make sure that you maintain a consistent approach. It's the easiest way to. That's a real life example.
Good question on FHA and vehicle. So there was a listing that just went on the market. That no FHA loans, and marks, just like the love letters. So I called the agent and I say, you have no FHA loans. And the VA buyer, is there anything that I should be aware of? She pretty much said that the seller told her no FHA, so that also includes VA loans. Can you actually do that? So,
I mean, is there something wrong with the house?
no, she said the seller just didn't want to go above rent. I mean, I know that's the seller's wishes, but are you really allowed to do that?
Thanks. I don't think you just.
I know.
So
familiar with our
Purchase back club?
I know.
And government.
I know. I'm just curious, it's what the- Nice. Just
And
shop.
my advice would be, I wouldn't publicly state that.
Correct.
And if the seller chooses to go with another offer because of their intentions,
Yeah.
geez, that is their choice. But I would.
Correct.
And sometimes it's a matter, as a listing agent, it's a matter of educating your clients that right now rates are better for FHA buyers. And so some people might be qualified for conventional, but they're gonna go with FHA because rates are better. So I know I've had several sellers who've said, you know, I don't want FHA, and I tell them that, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So sometimes it's just educating them.
Would it be fair to say, though, like this house will probably not pass?
Yeah, or like there's peeling paint, sellers not willing to complete those repairs. I think that's good to put out there right away, because then you're just putting something, you're acknowledging there's peeling paint, they're not intending to fix it. That's different. Yeah, any other questions? All right.
Sheriff Shipley, give it up for Klein. Lot of updates. All right, so I'm gonna share with you some perspective that was given to me on Sunday morning. Okay? How many of you are familiar with Bed Bath & Beyond? Okay, let me ask you a question. Anybody know how much revenue Bed Bath & Beyond generated last year?
Wow, I think they're struggling right now.
But last year, do you know how much revenue they generated?
How much
Revenue.
revenue, more revenue.
Better
Uh,
Okay, 15 to 20 billion.
wow.
Billion with a B. Okay, they have 35,000 employees. Last year at this time, their stock was trading at $35 a share. You know what it's trading for today? 11 cents. Okay, here's my point. A company that does $20 billion in revenue can go under. 7 cents? Down even further. But here's the point. A company that does that much top line revenue goes under. Most of our businesses, you know what the average real estate agent made last year? Top line gross, 50K. If a $20 billion business can go under, a $50,000 business can go under. Okay. And so last week on my coaching call, my coach shared with me this perspective. Hey, if you don't think that $20 billion business can go under because they weren't paying attention to some warning signs, you need to rethink about some of our agents' businesses who are doing, and this is a true story. I know someone last year made 800K last year, and they are struggling this year right now. Okay, and no one would ever imagine that this person is struggling. Here's good perspective on the market. After the conversation, my coach sent this to me on Sunday morning. And I'm going to share this with you because it made me stop and think. Okay, it said times are tough for many people and many companies. What goes up must come down, and what falls drastically bounces. However, for many, this is the first experience of hardship, challenge, fear, or financial uncertainty. So their lack of experience, they aren't sure how or when it will ever bounce back. That being said, there are 4 reasons why people permanently fail in business. Here's the 4. 1, they don't prospect. Businesses that rely on past clients in their previous database as the only source of future business find that tough times are less of those people are transacting or referring to their own challenges, and without continuously finding the motivated, those businesses that do not prospect will slowly fail. 2, they don't market. This is an incredibly powerful point. The truth is the best business is not always the most successful. The best known business is. Case in point, does McDonald's have the best cheeseburger in the entire world? No, but who sells more cheeseburgers than McDonald's?
No.
No one. They're the best known business. Marketing today starts in the thousands and expands into the billions for the biggest businesses in the world. Many businesses who think they are marketing play a game too small and too infrequent to even make a dent in the noise. too small and too frequent to make a dent in the noise. Now, average person in Milwaukee knows 12 real estate agents. 82% of the time, we know this through the home buyer and seller profiles, they interview one person. 91% of the time, they only interview 2, 3 through 12. In terms of mind share or market share, you don't matter. Okay. 3, they have poor financial habits. If you don't know how to save and invest, you cannot have a future when times come to adjust. And 4, you don't listen to market changes. If you're not prospecting, you won't hear each day what the market wants or bears. If you go long enough without engaging in the market, you are disrupted by someone more in tune and innovative in your sector. This is simply fixed by always prospecting. And he used the example of Bed Bath & Beyond. For financial habits, they stopped prospecting because they were prospecting to past clients instead of focusing on future generations of clients through the new demographics and how they've changed, right? And they did $20 billion. They were worth $35 a share. And today, thanks to Nate, they're down to 7 cents a share.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
There you go.
But I think the point to it is incredibly fascinating in terms of perspective on the market, in terms of why businesses fail, and thinking through more so to the fact of how do we play the infinite game? You're in it for a great career, not just a great year, right? And I thought this made me think on a Sunday morning about what it is that we do and how we do it, where in which that we show up with our clients and how we're building our databases in order to build an incredible business. So I wanted to share that with you today. Now, last thing, and I didn't pull the slides to it, is this. Last week, 454 units went under contract, highest single week in the Metro MLS in 2023. Okay, 449 new listings came to market. Highest new listing, second highest new listings week. The first highest was 2 weeks ago. Okay, we're still trading new listings for clients 1-to-1. Okay, so the more listings we bring to the inventory comes to the market, the more opportunities we have to do more deals. The good news is we're following seasonal historical trends that the tide is starting to rise, and you see more active continued opportunities and keep a healthy perspective on the market. Cool? Beautiful. That's how we can market it.
So with that, with this information, with the information that John shared, and what I'm hearing a lot of is consistency. We're building our business. We have to build skills that keep us out there in the marketplace on a regular basis. This is definitely a skill set. We have a handful of people coming in to help us do that. So I wanted to share that with you. Here we go. Okay, so for those who are new, how many people have been in the business 6 months or less? Okay, and how many people have done 5 or fewer transactions? Hands up. Okay, so I think one of the things that I love about this is the world is run by those who show up. You guys have big businesses, and that's great. One of the areas that we want to be really, really good in is helping people get into this business. PW is a systems business, and when I came, I heard from a lot of you that we just have to do more of what we promised to be. And that means delivering on the systems and helping people get into business. So Aletha Champagne has raised her hand to be our productivity coach. And she will be here every Thursday at 9 o'clock to help our people get into business. So I know many of you, how many in this room participate in Homegrown Campers? 4 hands go up. And those who are in that program, accountability helps, right? Tactics help. It's kind of like that small text group that Charlie was talking about in terms of keeping you front and center and helping you move your business forward. Same thing here. Productivity is for new people. And it goes through the whole gamut of what it is to run a real estate business. So it's for experienced people too to come be part of that conversation. But Aletha's going to be here every Thursday at 9 o'clock. And then many of you know that Allison in the back is on her last week here with us. She raised her hand to another great opportunity, and we have some supports that I want to share with this group as we continue to build our business and close out this. So right next to Emily, or I'm sorry, right next to Allison is Emily. Emily, if you could raise your hand, why don't you stand up? Okay, Emily, how long have you been in the KW world?
5 years.
5 years. And what do you do?
I'm in today for GW for
So you have experience supporting people who have closings and commission from a distance. Right? So that's, and what else do you do?
a lot of different things. For North Shore and Lake Country, I do invoicing, commissions,
And again, how long have you done this for? For 5 years? Okay, awesome. The reason I wanted to introduce, thank you, Emily. Guys, standing up front, she would not have come if I told her she was gonna have to stand up here and introduce herself. So thank you for standing in the back. Emily has a great deal of experience supporting people. She is one of the most detailed, accurate, helpful people that I have ever interacted with in the KW world. And she is going to be supporting Michelle and our financial department here as we navigate Allison's departure. So Emily is a name that you should know. We'll make sure that you have her contact information. And we will be processing commissions on a regular basis here. We had been doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Emily works every day, right? For on commissions, except Thursdays and then Jen does it. So we are putting processes in place to make sure your commissions are processed quickly and efficiently. You will see no change in your commission processing.
She works remote. Oh, let me just give you the full picture, right? Last year was a couple thousand transactions that needed to be processed. Allison's main responsibilities were commission processing, agent invoicing, and support service. Right? And I'm sensitive of Michelle's workload and overburdening Michelle's workload. And so what we did is we looked at it and said, hey, look, we have a really dialed in system that Emily manages remote for currently 3 locations, because she also supports and she does the exact same things Allison does. The whole system built so that you get paid every day for those closings. Right now, the way it was set up, it was just Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That wasn't either here nor there. It was just more so she can manage it at that high of a level that she can take a lot of that stuff off Michelle's plate. Doesn't have to worry about tradition and leadership of what's going to happen. So Emily's going to jump in and help us make sure that everything what you expect from an invoicing and commission standpoint is smooth. Sound good?
And I think the other good news about this is Emily's used to receiving them. I was the team leader on the other side who set up the system for delivering them. We have a very smooth process on both sides. So what happens, you bring your commissions to us, just like you've always done, and drop them off at the front desk. We log the receipt of them so we know where they are. And then they make their way to Emily and she processes them for us. So as we roll out the system, which will be happening this week, she's in training with Allison. If you have any questions, any concerns, please let us know. Our job is to serve you. And we know that finances are one of the very most important things. That we do. So thank you for working together.
Yeah, and I'll just last comment because we're going to talk about Kelly as well. Right? I recognize there's a lot of transition. We're actively looking to fill roles. I don't want you to get it. Part of this is continuity of just getting and make sure that we're maintaining service levels through transitionary periods as people are moving on. And Kel, it'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you for everything you did. Literally from the time you came on last March.
Yeah, March.
To where you're headed to next.
You look light. I don't know. You look happy.
Cause now these people work for me.
Roles reverse quickly. No, but that's true. I mean, like, why just, I know we sent out a note on Friday, but tell them a little bit more about,
So, basically, I've been in new construction for the last, well, total of 4 years. I used to work for a different builder out in Delafield, and then I started selling for Joseph Douglas Homes a year before I got this job. So one of my caveats was that I keep that and actually still do this. Well, at the time, it worked out great because we didn't have a model. There was I didn't have to sit in a model. I was just kind of following up, kind of half-assed with leads, let's be honest. And, things were just working along. And then we built this amazing model, and I've been there like every other weekend and working here 40 hours a week. And it just got to be a lot. And my builder basically came to me and said, so what are you doing here? Are you going to step up or are you going to step out? Because we need more help. And with everything changing, with Diana coming in, and I know you guys are all safe with her, and she's a great team leader, I felt like I could finally make that decision because it's been weighing on me for a bit. So we're all in good hands, and I'm not leaving. So you guys are still stuck with me. So no bad mouthing me behind my back. And I'll be here every Tuesday for pretty much the full day once I get back into more hands-on.
Yeah, Charlie gave you. I've been here since, I don't know, 5 weeks. And Charlie could not have been a better introduction to all of you and to our system. To be so thoughtful in your comfort in your process in terms of where you want to go.
And I can still create my downline and get people in, and I know the back end of onboarding. So if you guys do need help, I'm still here. So.
Yeah.
What's next? Like, we're actively filling roles, and as we've done through other transitions, we're leaning more on people like and Lindsay Brannick and some of the other resources that we have in our other offices that know we run, for all intents and purposes, we run one onboarding system for the other 3 locations. We're just going to implement it down here while we work to find and identify that next ATO. We have one marketing and resources platform that we ran in the other 3 that we implemented down here through Lindsay and Wooten. We're doing this training and education you're starting to see. So we have solutions to all of it, and we have the right people in place to help implement it who've been in the KW system for a long time. The best part of it is as we look to identify talent that we're going to bring into this world and join this team to serve you guys every day, they'll have the benefit of learning from those who help us build the system. With the rest of them. So it should be a really seamless transition where you basically feel no impact and as it relates to like your day-to-day needs and wants, and we'll continue to pull the resources from everywhere else and have them to help serve your guys' needs. Cool. And just real quick, any questions? Comment, concerns, feedback? Tell me you're crazy.
Well, that's separate.
And on a side note, our builder does pay photos.
Right.
Starts already. Okay, but one last comment on this. When we sent the note out, I got 3 people who responded from this group asking me about the role. I am happy to sit down and tell anyone about all of the leadership opportunities that come down the pipe, because as we grow, there will be more. So if this, I mean, I can explain what this job is. Trust me, not everybody wants it. Way to stick it out. Also, it's one of the best jobs in the world, I'm not gonna lie. But also, lots of opportunities come as our market center grows. And that's what I'm tasked with, is to make sure that the great people that you know join and love this culture as much as I do and as much as you do. So as we grow, there are other ways to plug in. And we'll be sharing it with everybody. So if you're interested in leadership or leadership development, because they both, you know, inform your practice, right? Then let's talk. Good. All right. We are short on time.
Skip it and we'll punt to
Yes.
a new future meeting.
So we're gonna punt to a future meeting. Couple reminders, no team meeting next week, just so you guys have all of gift of time on your calendar. Red Day, if you haven't signed up to be a part, be a part. If you are doing the food drive, just drop your stuff up here and we will get it to the food pantry.
Last thing. I talked about this last week on, I planted a seed with the group to get some feedback. It's actually Amy who gave it to me. Starting next week, Monday, we've created a system to gather new listing information from all 4 locations. And then we will then spit that information back out to you on Tuesdays.
In a COVID safe way.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so what instead of Tony talking about 5 listings that you couldn't keep up to speed with.
But we know they're Tony's. We know who he is.
Don't you grab with mine, I really
The goal, here's the goal of it, is to take it, gather the pertinent information. Some of them will have addresses, some of them will only have communities. If it's an excluded listing, it'll be a community. If it's a single party, it'll be a community. If it's a listing contract that you have signed, but it isn't in the MLS yet, you'll have the full address. And that way you'll have line of sight is hopefully to the full scale of coming soons that are there. And here's the key. We're fishing for things that aren't on the MLS. If it's on the MLS, you guys all have access to it already. What I'm trying to do that we've done really successfully in the North Shore is we've gathered all this information, given it to you in advance of your peers, and leveraging our economies of scale of how much listing inventory we have to give you more information to get ahead of the curve to help you win more deals. Does that make sense? So the way in which that we'll do it, Willis will communicate out on Monday, hey, please go in to enter your new listings that you want out on the new listing or coming soon, excluded single parties, whatever it is that you may have. Then we will filter the information so that it's in a compliant way, and we don't put you at risk of getting in trouble with the MLS or GMAR. And then we will facilitate that information back out to you on Tuesdays. Is that cool? You're gonna enter it into a Google form. It's basically, what's your name, what's the community, what's the price, when do you estimate that it will go live, what's the bed count, and any notes. So like this morning, there was someone with a duplex that had 10 parking spots. It's kind of a unique duplex, put it in the notes. Then on the back end, it gets populated into a spreadsheet. We'll go through to clean it up from a compliance standpoint to make sure that no one's carrying excluded listing with an address that would get you in trouble. And then if someone's interested in your excluded listing, they know to reach out to Tony because he has an excluded in Brookfield and that you have a buyer for it, but you didn't know that Tony had this property. That makes sense? So what we're doing is we're trying to leverage our economies of scale of our total listing inventory to get you the information versus spending 10 minutes just like spitting it out and no one can really.
You're gonna send us
On Monday afternoons.
Through email?
Through email.
We're gonna get. Look at all these.
Okay.
So you said Tuesday, but then you said Monday.
Sorry, Monday afternoon, you're gonna get the request for information.
Yeah.
Tuesday, you will get the spreadsheet once the spreadsheet's been populated with you.
Okay.
Make sense?
All you have to do is
All 4 of them, we're running the exact same play. So that,
clarify.
yeah, makes sense. I'm trying to get you access to information faster
Good question.
so that you can try and get your buyers in to help you win deals faster.
And keep our compliance brokers happy. That's our goal.
Cool? Beautiful. We're working on a lot of stuff. Appreciate your patience. Kelly, you've been a freaking rock star. I really appreciate all your help. Allison, I love you and thank you for everything you've done for this for the last 5+ years. And know that the rest of the group, we have the resources and tools to support you that you will fulfill minimal impact. If you know of anybody that's really talented that wants to join the team, let us know. We're actively engaged. Cool. There you go. You guys be great. Thanks for showing up.
I don't know how to do the music.
What do you think?